All sports, all plays. Yeah. All sports, all plays. All sports, all plays. 365, we making a place. You talking the game, get you through the days. We're high in the court, the dime in the lane. Variety, topics, living the same. All presentation, sports information. In the airways, taking the nation. All sport, all plays, like working your faces. Grace at the field, so tie the laces. All sports, all plays.
Ooh. Hello, ladies and gentlemen. Welcome to another edition of Beyond the Rim. I know we have been on a little bit of a hiatus for the past couple of weeks, but we are officially back with my lovely co-host, Megan Price and Mike Hughes. How are you guys doing today? Are we enjoying the WNBA season? So action-packed, so much stuff going on. How you guys feeling?
Oh man, there's been some surprises over the last week or so. Roster changes that I never would have expected. Some slumps, some teams coming back, like Champs looking amazing, Storm looking dangerous. Like it's changed a whole lot.
Indeed, it has. And Mike, what about you, Mr. Chicago Sky himself? Why are you pulling off some pretty impressive wins these past couple of weeks? So what's the consensus right now for the Chicago Sky? What's the feeling around the franchise right now?
I'm feeling.
Oh, okay.
I'm living.
Top Gun with it.
I can't.
We don't care. We don't care. We ain't. Nope. Not even tripping. Don't even care. We're just winners. That's what we do. So it's normal, you know.
This guy, I can't.
We're just winners. Okay. Well, I mean, y'all are.
Yeah,
Name
honestly,
a loser on this roster. Can't do it.
Honestly, I can't blame you because you guys are definitely, like I said, you guys have definitely pulled off some pretty impressive wins these past couple of weeks. But something I want to get into first before we go into the Chicago Sky is what in the heck happened with Tina Charles and the Phoenix Mercury? Like all of a sudden, we just got the bombshell news one day that she and the Mercury decided to part ways. Then a few hours later, we learned that she decides to sign with the Seattle Storm. What? I don't even. Go ahead.
I think the way they described it was like a contractual divorce.
Divorce.
I guess that's the best way to describe it too. I was like,
yeah,
that's insane to me. So, what I didn't know in the first place, and I guess I should have known this from free agency, is that she only signed a 1-year deal with the Merc anyway. So,
they didn't even.
I guess it was.
Yeah.
Right, I guess it was easier for them to pull up out of it like that. But I also want to say I don't really blame her for leaving. I think you have to do what's best with you. You've been in the league since 2010. She was part of that draft class with Elena Deladon and BG. Like she definitely, she's on a time limit right now. She's getting towards the end of her career, and the whole goal of these careers was to win a chip. So I'm not upset with how she did that, but it reminds me of KD so much because she went and joined the enemy. Like she went and joined one of the team's rivals. Like it wasn't like, she went over to Dallas and was like, I'm going to go over here. No, she joined the team that gives them the most grief over here besides Vegas. And Vegas has only come around as being good in the last few years because they've only been there for a few years, right? This has been their rival. The Seattle has been their rival for years and years, ever since Sue and DT became on those two different teams right there. So
what about?
I kind of feel like it's a snake in the grass move going to Seattle specifically, not leaving Mercury, but going to Seattle.
Yeah. What do you think, Mike?
I think there's a lot of it that has to be unpacked. I hate to say that she couldn't handle it like that, but for me, it was one of those things where it's like I felt like going into it, you thought BG was going to be there, and your workload was going to be a lot less, and then you're not getting paid the amount of money. Yeah,
you're stupid.
So that transpired into a lot of it, and I just think. Not to say she couldn't handle that workload, but I don't think that's what she wanted. I think when you go back, you look at Sue Bird and you look at Breanna Stewart, that's like, okay, cool. I'm the third option. They have their game plan. But without BG, which we could get into later if we want to, I don't think we should.
So sad. Free BG.
It's an issue, but I'm having problems with it. But I don't want to be taken by a Russian man in the night named Gunther. So I'm going to keep my tongue. But
I'll address it. I don't care.
I think understanding that though is one of those things to where it's like the offense of the Mercury I've watched them in person this year at the Sky games. It's weird. It's like no one really understands what's going on. DT isn't playing that great, and it's like if you can't count on her, you really can't count on anybody. And that's a huge problem for me. That's the formula. It was BG and DT's underperforming just because of age. It's not even you know what I mean? Like she's giving them everything, and I still feel like she has a lot left to give. It's just the first half of the season, so that's where the frustration is. And
I mean, but she's had like 3 games where she was 30 plus, and she's had several games where she was 20 plus. Now, don't get me wrong, there's been some lackluster performances, but the woman is 40. So I don't know if underperforming is the right word, but I think it's just more of a workload, like you said.
Yeah.
It's more of a workload on her than was what was expected. But you know, Tina Charles had her first game last night with the Seattle Storm, and she only had 4 points and 5 boards. But you know, Joe Lloyd went off, Stewie went off, Sue Bird had double-digit points. So she's gonna have to find her place in that team as well. Another team that has got a rookie coach, because Seattle has a brand new coach as well. So, you know, I think it's going to take a little time. Tina, I don't know. I don't think it's the immediate fix that she thinks it might be, but maybe it's a storybook finish for Sue. I don't know.
Yeah, I think I personally think it's a snake in the grass move, just for the simple fact that you knew coming into the season that BG wasn't going to be there for a significant amount of time. Now, granted, we didn't know it was going to be this long, but we didn't know that for at least a good portion of the season that BG was not going to be in a 10. Even if she, you know, she was able to come home, she wasn't going to immediately jump back on the court. So that's something that you had to know coming into that situation. And they're relying on you not to necessarily replace BG, because BG is obviously irreplaceable, especially for that Phoenix Mercury team. But to just be some kind of anchor and kind of catalyst to kind of hold that down and just be consistent enough for a Skylar Diggins, for a Diana Taurasi, for a Diamond DeShields, for, you know what I'm saying, for Sophia Cunningham, and all the players that they have. We just need you to be an anchor. We don't necessarily need you to be BG. And I think she kind of overstated her role and maybe didn't really understand exactly what it was that she was going to need to do, which is understandable. But at the same time, like, I think she knew for a really long time that she didn't want to be in Phoenix. Right. And I think she felt like she was maybe overwhelmed by just the emotion of just everything that the Phoenix Mercury are going through right now, which is a lot for anybody. You know what I'm saying? So, but yeah, then to go to Seattle was like, that just felt calculated to me. That felt very planned. Like she knew this whole time, I'm going to try to make my way to Seattle, because that's a lot easier of a situation. I'm not required to do as much. They have, you know, players in place that, you know what I'm saying, they have a full roster pretty much. Phoenix doesn't really have a full roster right now. So it's like, you know, you kind of just took the easy way out, in my opinion. But, you know, to counter that, I think that the Phoenix Mercury took that really personal. And as you can tell, since this situation has taken place, they've been playing really well, especially Skylar Diggins. Skylar Diggins, she's been a dog these last 3 to 4 games. MVP. And yeah, for sure. Like, she's one of my MVP candidates, at least top 3 in my opinion. Now, where she ranks, that's to be determined, but she's definitely top 3 for me. Just off of just sheer will, just sheer effort. You know what I'm saying? Like she said the other day, I watched a press conference with her and DT the other day. There's no quitting this team. And you can tell, like, even if they get down 10 some points, they don't ever look rattled. They don't ever look like, you know, they don't give up. They just keep fighting. And they've pulled off some pretty impressive wins these past couple of games. DT has played a lot better. She's up in there, like you said, she's 40, so she's not going to be DT of old that we expect. You know what I'm saying? Like, that's just natural. But she's played consistent enough and well enough for them to rat off 3 of these last 3 wins. So, you know, definitely happy for them. You know what I'm saying? That's my squad. So, you know, I'm definitely got to put them out there. But yeah, I think they definitely took that move personal, and I would too, because it's like, you know, they're going through so much already, and it's like the last thing we need is some extra stuff on top of everything.
Do you guys think at the end of the day she was just afraid to play this guy?
Mike, bye.
A mess, afraid to play this guy.
Wow.
I think she didn't expect that big of a role. Like I said, it just reminded me so much of KD going to Golden State. Like you go into a stacked roster. Now, don't get me wrong, because I feel like the Mercury is stacked enough that even without BG, they should be winning more games than they are. And I have a whole lot of criticisms of Vanessa Nygaard. Just even the turmoil that we saw between Skylar and DT there for a second. Like, if you had an experienced coach, I don't think that exactly would have taken place the way it did for everybody to see. It would have been in the locker room, but I don't think it would have been on the sidelines for the entire world to see. But obviously they're trying. I watched that press conference that you were talking about, and they talked about how they have a shorter roster now, but it reminds them of when they were in the bubble.
Yeah, in the bubble.
They only had 7 to 8 available players, and that's what they have right now at this moment too. So, I think that it's going to bring them closer, and you're going to see them win some games. Now, I don't think that we're going to see them above 500. I think that the competition is just too stiff in the West. But I think that they're still going to win games. And shout out to DT, 27 points, no techs. She did her thing.
Yeah, listen, definitely. I mean,
she didn't have to cuss nobody out.
And Skylar too, because I mean, both of those are they're really competitive and really feisty. And I think that situation where they got into it on the bench really turned their relationship around, because if you've seen how they've interacted since then, they're really locked in. They understand that they are the leaders of this team, and this team only goes as they go. Right. So I think if anybody has to be on the same page, it's got to be those two.
Right. And when you argue like that, and there's an understanding, like I feel like there's 3 types of arguments. 1, nobody knows why you're arguing. You just hate where you are. Yeah. 2, it's one person's right, the other person's wrong. And then there's 3, it's a situation like this. I just feel like sometimes, like Pride and I, who's in the comments right now, sometimes it's good. When James Harden and Chris Paul are going back and forth, and James Harden's telling you to F off, that's not good camaraderie. Yeah. When you look at Curry and Draymond arguing, you understand they're arguing because they want to win. Once both sides understood, she wants to win, she wants to hoop for real, and DT understood, Skylar means business. And I feel like
for sure.
Skylar means business. It's like they're just in sync.
Yeah, because they're both really, really intense competitors. Skylar has been this. I've watched Skylar since college. She's been this way since college. Since she's always
and both got All-Star snubs. Like I'm shocked by that.
Honestly and truly, it's really insane that the fact that I'll say this as a DT fan, I love DT. Like that's been my favorite player since like 2003. So that's not even 2003, but earlier than that, like 2000s. So like love DT. She does not deserve to be an All-Star this year. She hasn't played consistent enough, in my opinion,
but
to be an All-Star this year. Now Skylar Diggins on the other hand, Skylar Diggins on the other hand, that's the fact that she's not a starter is ridiculous. Like that's pure. That's people just hating. Like that's hating, because if you watch that girl play this entire season, she has been balling. Like she's been the only really consistent piece for Phoenix this entire year. Like there's been quite a few games that she's literally put Phoenix on her back and said, "Y'all coming with me, and we're gonna get this win." So that's just it. But it's politics, man, and that's just unfortunately that's how it works in sports sometimes. But
there is one piece that I really like.
That All-Star MVP though. Don't be surprised if she goes for it.
There is one piece over there that I gotta say, Mike, I know you probably hurting without Diamond though. She over there just like her game is looking fierce. Listen, her game looks fierce over there in the Mercury. Like
Diamond looks really good. She looks really good in this guy. Diamond looks really good for the Mercury. She's playing really good defense for them. Which I think is you was salty when y'all lost her. Don't do that.
Mike Jones
got bodied by DT.
No.
She got bodied by DT in the finals, and then teamed up with DT.
Listen.
We don't need that.
Everybody has this day when they get bodied by DT. Everybody got bodied by DT.
Yeah, I mean,
you can't be.
She's been in the league. She's been in the league 20 years. Who hasn't got bodied by DT?
Yeah. So
look, did y'all see DT throw Veronica Burton on the ground this past Saturday?
I saw that.
I thought it was very
like WWE DT.
Like
I do want to show love to Diamond though. I got mad love for Diamond, and I'm happy she found her place, because it was supposed to be here. And
she has a great story, man.
Yeah, well, unfortunately though, when you get an opportunity like Candace Parker to
You
come
gotta,
in.
yeah, you gotta,
You
yeah,
have to
Right,
take
yeah.
that. And she also,
for sure.
not that she didn't help herself, her body didn't help her in
Mhm.
all the nagging injuries and everything that went on with that. So to see her finally just be healthy and still be with winners makes me feel good. Because if she would have went somewhere
Yeah.
like New York or something, I would have hated it. I would have absolutely hated it. But I'm
Well,
really
speaking of New York, though, they just came back on the dream. Like, okay, they were down by 20 points at the half. They came back on the dream right now. It's 64-63 with 5 minutes left in the fourth.
they're still ass.
Have
Oh,
they
wow.
not? They're 8-10 right now. They're 8-10 right now. Have they not turned a corner from those? No.
Hey,
No?
Stephanie Dawson, got love for Stephanie.
Oh yeah,
Stephanie's
Stephanie Dawson is, yeah, she's
Stephanie's
dope.
a winner. Everybody else, I don't care. Until Brianna Stewart comes, keep crying.
Yeah, I mean,
Look,
they're
okay,
definitely,
I think they
they're
turned
getting
a
better.
corner.
Yeah,
I
they're getting
think they
better
turned a
for
corner.
sure.
And Betnaja's not even playing yet. She hasn't played one game
Right.
yet.
Yeah.
No,
You know,
but in
so-
all seriousness, I
And
think
they're a really young team too.
Right. I think they're excelling expectations right now. And I think another team that's really doing that is Atlanta. I think they're really just meeting expectations. And out of all teams, you know, you look at these young cores, and Minnesota was supposed to be that big face of, okay, we're coming up, we're building something nice, and they're the ones that are underperforming. So they're like 5 and what?
They got half their roster the first week.
Yeah, like it came down to it to where they had so many young pieces. Everybody was like, oh, look at all these young pieces. And then they realized half of them don't work out in whatever they're trying to do, which well, I don't know what they're trying to do. But it really is something like dope to see New York really just fighting, I guess. Like the Sky beat them the other day, but it was a good game. Like, don't get it twisted.
It was
Like
a good game.
I was watching it and I was like, yo, like, should we even be in this situation right now? Like, why is this? I was looking at the box score. I didn't get to catch the game live. So I watched the entire game later on, and I was like, okay, like this, they're just hooping for real. Like, they have a bunch of people who want to hoop, and I feel like that's the difference. When you have people who they're not the most talented, it's one thing, but people who aren't as talented, like a Jimmy Butler, I hope Pride's not still watching, but someone like Jimmy Butler, he's not as talented as everybody else, but they want to work, they want to be there. And yes, Pride, he took a dumb 3-point shot, but that's neither here nor there into what I'm talking about. But it just comes down to that at the end of the day, that the Liberty want to fight, and I really like that, and I hope the second half screams that as well.
So
Absolutely.
Sabrina right now, she's at 13, 5, and 12. So what do you think, Lana? Like, do y'all miss Sandy? Y'all miss Sandy?
I think we do. I think we do in a sense. I think we miss the veteran side of it. You know what I'm saying? Of being her being a veteran coach and kind of being able to ride the ship a little bit better than, you know what I'm saying, the rookie coach that we have now. Not to say that she's a bad coach, but I just feel like Sandy was a better fit for, you know, all the personalities that the Phoenix Mercury have.
Indeed.
And you know what I'm saying? It takes one hell of a coach to coach a Diana Taurasi and a Skylar Diggins team.
I agree.
So
Yeah.
I feel like Sandy was the best fit for sure. But I mean, I like what she's doing in New York. Like I said, I think she just has a really young team, and they're trying to figure out, you know, how to win, because they don't really know how to win. You know what I'm saying? So they're just trying to kind of find their way here. But yeah, I mean, yeah.
I do think I understand why y'all parted ways, because I felt like she underperformed with the amount of talent that she had.
Yeah, for sure.
But,
for sure.
Just kind of the way things are looking now, halfway through the season, I was just wondering what your thoughts were as a Mercury fan.
Yeah. Yeah, no, for sure. I mean, like I said, I just miss the veteran leadership that Sandy brought. But I do agree with you saying that, as far as the simple fact that she did underperform, because like you have a team with Diana Taurasi and BG, you should win more than one championship.
Now I want to ask you a question.
Yes.
And it's gonna be totally rude and ignorant, but I saw it.
Don't expect nothing less.
I saw it on Twitter, and I was like, "That's rude." But then I thought about it, and I was like, "I don't know." It said, if they beat the Sky in the 2021 finals, and BG was going, you know, she was obviously taken to Russia, would DT have just retired? Would she not have played this season if she would have got that ring?
I don't know if that's rude.
I don't think that.
It was worded different, Megan. It was worded very different. That was the spark notes.
Twitter. Yeah, Twitter's a cesspool.
Yeah, I could see it. I definitely could see it, because then, you know, she would tie with Sue with 4 rings. But at the same time, I can see her coming back too. Because if they were able to win it, you know what I'm saying.
That's right. Like, I was reading it and I was like, what a dickhead. And then I thought about it. I was like, it was a good question though.
Yeah, no, because I think DT would probably.
Well, she's definitely not going out like this. She's definitely not going out like this. No, she's too much of a competitor to go out like this.
That's what I'm saying though. She would
maybe. Okay, so let's say Sue has the storybook finished. She goes out with 5. Where does that put her in the GOAT conversation?
I'll tell you what, she's not. And she's not because the real GOAT.
Yeah.
No, I agree. She's not, but you're going to hear some story fans that are going to say.
No, she's gonna definitely put herself in the realm of greatest point guard of all time. Yeah. That's for sure.
Getting traded mid-season.
But like greatest play of all time though, I don't think you could put. She would probably be. She's at least top 10.
I'll say this though, she's
probably even top 5 if you wanna. Really
I got her number 2. I got her number 2 as is, and probably still gonna keep her at number 2 even if she goes out.
And that's fair.
Who's y'all top 3? Who's y'all top 3?
Okay, DT, Sue, Cheryl. Yeah, Swoops. I'm from Lubbock.
Yeah, but say Swoops is Cheryl Swoops is from Lubbock, so you gotta put. I think mine would be DT, Cheryl, and then I got CP at 3. I got Candace Parker at 3, and then I got Sue at 4.
You cannot ignore the comments getting 4 back to back.
Yeah, you can't.
I got honestly 3 times. That's my
thing. And you got to even throw in like Lisa Leslie, Tina Thompson. Like you got to think about all of that. You got to think about all of that.
She's scared me, man. She's scared that crap out of it. She's so big.
No, she's so nice. I met her last year in Vegas. Nice. She's so nice.
She's so big. Like I was like,
damn. She is a tall chick. Her kids is tall. Yeah. She was with her kids too. Her kids is super tall too. I was just like,
oh yeah.
So
yeah.
For
sure.
Don't know, I was at the Big 3 game. I shook up with Ice Cube. I cried a little bit after. No one saw it. It was cool. But I was like, man, this is dope. I saw Mario Chalmers. I was like, man, ain't nothing going to get better than this. The next team came out to play out. Head coach is Lisa Leslie. Ryan Hollins is on the bench. And she's chewing Ryan out. Like, she was cussing him out. And Ryan's a lot swoller than I thought he was. He's a big dude. I thought, like, he's on TV, and he just looks like this kid sitting in the desk. But he's big, and he's just taking it. He's taking everything from Lisa. I was like, that's why I was like, she scared the shit out of me. Like, I heard what she was saying to him, and I can't reiterate it. But I was like, like she was coaching him for real.
But Lisa Leslie ain't no joke. That's the thing. She was never no joke. She's super competitive.
I was like, I never heard of
and I just love that about the Big 3 because Nancy Lieberman's a coach too there.
Yeah. And the GOAT. That's one of the man. Nancy Lieberman is legendary, bro. If you know, you know.
Looking him up. Cube cares. I love that about it. That's
why I like that too. Yeah, I love that. Okay, right, so we're gonna let Mike go off about Chicago. Or we're gonna talk about my sorry ass wings.
Let's go for your sorry ass wings. Let's go with the wings first because Mike is gonna have a time with his Chicago Sky. So we're gonna go.
Okay. And we're not sorry, but we're not as good as I feel like we should be. We lost to the Mercury on Saturday. We're 1 game under 500. Mercury's sitting at 7-12 right now.
With this.
Yeah, she did. Okay, but okay, that's cool and all. That's cool. But I'm gonna need her to hit 500 before she start putting people to sleep, honey.
That's true, but she definitely put y'all night.
I needed to hit 500 before she go to round pulling step moves.
But you know how she feels about the wings. Every time she play against y'all, I feel it.
And then I also, I got to shout out Moriah Jefferson. We cut her earlier this year, and she went over. The Lynx picked her up, and she's been an excellent pick for them. Not only did they just really beat our asses by almost 30 points, she got the franchise's first triple double. So I'm really concerned not only about our defense because our defense has been lacking for a couple of seasons, and we picked up Tiara McCowan from the Indiana Fever, and she has stepped up in points from her first couple of rotations because she was only hitting 4 to 5 points. Now she's hitting 12 to 14. I would much rather we have 12 to 14 boards coming out of Tiara. So to me, that says that coaching is not where it needs to be. The fact that Atlanta Dream has our number and they shut down Enrique every single time we play them, to me, that says coaching because you're not adjusting.
Right.
And then also, Lish, we miss you. Hopefully, she's probable for the next game. We miss you. Come back. You're my favorite wing. And you definitely got an all-star snub. So I'm concerned with coaching. I'm going to keep it real. And I love Vickie Johnson. Becky Hammond is my hero, and that's her best friend, former teammate. And I don't know. I don't know what's going on.
Yeah. Yeah, there's a lot of moves that I feel like Dallas needs to make. There's a lot of moves that Dallas has made over the past few years that have been highly questionable, and as are the reason why they are in the position that they are in right now. You know, I don't know. Are you guys in fear of losing Enrique Gumawale? Because I mean, I don't think she's going to be
No,
going
she
for.
signed her. She signed her extension before the season started. I think she loves where she's at. I'm not concerned about losing Enrique. I'm concerned about losing Lish. She's really stepped up this season. She got a taste of what it's like to be a gold medalist, and I think that that's going to drive her to want to be a winner. And right now, Dallas is not winning, and so I feel like that's something that's going to hit tough for her. Now, I think she has a level of dedication that we're not going to see her make mid-season moves, that type of decisions, but I think we might see her because we gave her a 1-year deal. She was a free agent this past off season. We gave her a 1-year deal. So, I mean, once again, she's going to be a free agent at the end of the season. So I am concerned about losing Lish.
For sure. What do you think? Any thoughts, Mike?
Buns, you know, they're coming.
I expected that.
Nah, but they are coming fast. In all seriousness, I think everybody knows it. I just think they don't have a formula. I think you have a lot of nice pieces. I think there's a couple more pieces you can bring in, but you don't know what those pieces are until you bring in a formula. You don't know if you need more bigs. You don't know if you need more shooters because you really don't have that identity yet. And that doesn't speak any volumes to the women that are on the court, but more so the women behind the people drawing up the plays and the front office. Where do you want to be and what kind of person do you want to bring in? The Sky were very similar with James Wade. You know, bringing in James Wade was a huge thing for us. You needed a guy who was going to hold people accountable, I didn't mean a guy, but you know what I mean. I got hit on Twitter for saying that. Yeah, a person. Oh no, I can't call him a person either. You can't assume anything about that. Someone there that is called a coach that you can believe in. I'll say that because Twitter didn't like the way I said something the other day. But I think you need to find someone that has an identity and a culture that they're instilling. And what that culture might be, I can't speak on because I don't know what direction they should go in. I can't give out names of what direction they should go in. I thought they should have been in on Becky Hammond from the start, but we all knew she was going to Vegas, to be honest. But it's something to where I just think they got the right pieces. They just need the right person putting the puzzle together.
Agreed.
All right, Mike, this is your moment. Talk about your Chicago Sky.
I ain't got nothing to say. Same old. Same old.
Damn mess.
Got nothing to say. Nothing's changed. Winners are winning. That's it.
Winners are winning.
What do you want me to say? Rebecca Gardner has been amazing. Julie Albin is she already has 100 blocks or 100 defensive rebounds with the team in her 2 weeks of being here almost, and it's like she's just insane. She's coming into her own offensively. Rebecca Gardner is one of the best defenders in this league. She's now on the scouting report. She's my new bestie, so I've been really living that and just having a great time connecting with all of them. And Kalia Copper is really just doing her thing, and I know her stats might not scream that because you got Quig and you got Court and obviously you still have CP, and Emma. But you know, Ka's really doing her thing, and I can't wait for her to be the face of this franchise in just a couple years. It's good. I'm gonna miss obviously, you know, the Quigs and CP, but Ka is definitely gonna be one of those MVP conversations. I feel like if she was on the Dallas Wings right now, I'd have Ka in the MVP conversations, and that's just how I'll leave it like that. But we're doing great things. James Wade has COVID right now, or he's in COVID protocol, so we've been holding it down, won 2 games without him. But that just screams the amount of work he's installed in these women, and vice versa, installing in him. they do great things, and it's been a blast. I didn't get to go to their last game because a stone decided to leave my body that I didn't know was there. So I will be there this weekend against DT and the Mercury, hopefully, unless something else decides to leave that shouldn't leave, but hopefully not. And I will be there.
Well, and what a game their last game, because you guys end up beating the Sun. No easy feat right there, and you beat them 91-83. CP put a 25, 7, and 11. Like, what? Every time she touched the court, she just a double.
It was early
At
too.
least
She started off
literally.
started off 5 for 5. Like it was insane. And then
Yeah, from 3. Like when did CP start to become a sniper from 3?
I think she always
Yeah,
was.
for
But
sure.
when you're sitting with Allie and Courtney every single day, like it's contagious.
or Derek Fisher is your coach.
Right.
Yeah.
Like, it's
Can we talk
definitely
about
something
it?
that just
Yeah.
happens. And I was watching that game. It was a great game. And then I got rudely interrupted again by something that was leaving me. So I didn't get to see a whole 25 points from CP, but I got it recorded, so I'll watch it.
Yeah, she's been balling out lately, like on the under. She's been having some very vintage CP games.
She has her games though where it's 4 points or something like that. But then she'll come back and do a triple double. That's just where they are. Like Candace is a hooper knows it. And DT, Sue Bird, they're hoopers and they know it. But they just night in and night out. It's not that they can't do it. It's just not worth it. You know what I mean? Like why am I giving you
needed?
Right. It's not even that it's always needed. It's just what's the point? You know what I mean? It doesn't make sense to.
Yeah, they're players that kind of like how like LeBron is, like they prep for the long haul. They prep for the playoffs. Like I don't need to give you 30 on a random Tuesday. Like I don't.
So you guys are tied with the Aces though, 14-5.
Yeah, we're chilling, big chill, and it's crazy because we had a rough start. We had a very rough start with some people injured, and the Aces were like what 9-1. They've gone through a stretch recently where it's kind of like what's going on with them.
They lost to Washington. They lost to you guys, and then they lost last night to Seattle. So they've had like 2 weeks where they got 3 losses, and I mean obviously they only have 5 losses. So that's a little stretch for them. I still view them as juggernauts though. Derek is happy, man.
She's been balling, man. She has been balling.
They're a good 5. And I'll say that. I'll scream that they're a great 5, but they don't have a great bench. And that's where it's really going to come down to. When they played the Sky in the first matchup, they were over the Sky plus 20. They had 20 points on the Sky. And the Sky climbed back and lose the game by 4, but because their bench put up 0 points. Like, that's cool. You had 4 players in double figures, and that's awesome, but your bench didn't give you a single point. To me, it's like I definitely think there's going to be a move made mid-season at the trade deadline. It's definitely going to be one of those conversations to where you need to bring in just a spark, and maybe that's Sue Bird, but probably not.
But no, she's not leaving. She's not leaving Seattle.
Sue, leave. Just leave,
no,
Sue.
She's not. When is the trade deadline? Let me look real quick.
I think it's right after All-Star break, if I'm not mistaken.
Look.
I think it's like early August, late July.
I'm looking right now.
Honestly, we should just trade.
Trade deadline July 15th at 8 Eastern.
We ain't doing shit.
All right, we need to cut Charlie Collier.
Y'all know where to find me. Hit me with your offers, man.
Dead weight. And I hate to say that because she was our number 1 pick, it was her. And then we had the number 2 pick and we took a walk, and a walk is getting more playing minutes than Charlie. So for me, that just says a lot, and it kills me because she's a Longhorn, and I love Texas. But I mean, obviously her development has not been there. So I'm going to question our coaching a lot. I don't think that's her fault. I question our coaching.
100%.
Yeah. I think we need to pick up a couple players at least to fill out our roster. So,
you want Charlie?
No. Well, I think we're good. I think we're good. But yeah, we need to pick up at least like 1 or 2 more players. Just like I said, to kind of complete our roster there, so we can rest our starters for a playoff run.
Give me DT.
Hell no, she ain't leaving Phoenix. She is Phoenix. Like, she's not
okay, so Before we took our break, we talked a little bit about that maybe Seal was done. We kind of thought her knee was blown out. Turned out it was just soreness, and she's back. But what do you think that means for Minnesota? Like, because they're sitting in dead last.
I don't think it makes much of a difference. I think because I think that they're missing feed, man. They're missing a really main piece of their team, and it's just they just don't have enough talent right now.
Right.
And that's just what I'm saying. That's just keeping it all the way honest. I mean, I hate that for Sil because I feel like she definitely deserves a better ride out. But she's given Minnesota a lot of great years. She's a champion, Finals MVP. So you know what I'm saying. She's accomplished everything that you could possibly accomplish. So I mean, sometimes everybody doesn't get to ride off in the sunset. You know what I'm saying? Like.
True.
You look at what I'm saying. Look at and God rest his soul. Look at Kobe Bryant. Like that team was terrible, but he dropped his 60 in the last game, and that was it. You know what I'm saying? And I mean, because at that point he accomplished everything that there's to
look
accomplish.
At Jordan with the Wizards, like it's just...
Jordan with the Wizards, same thing. Like it's like everybody doesn't get that fairy tale ending. You know what I'm saying? And so it just is what it is. That doesn't take away from Sil or what she's done or what she means to the league. But it just is what it is, unfortunately.
Jordan would have got that send off if he would have stayed retired.
The first time.
Wouldn't have got 3 more rings.
Or whatever time it was. Yeah. That whenever he won that last championship.
When he won that last championship, I mean, if he would have just stayed retired, he would have had that.
He was an all-star 2 more times though. Like the dude was still hooping. Like I would be pissed too. I'm not just gonna retire just to retire. Like I'm gonna retire when I feel
dude didn't even want to get it. He didn't even want to get inducted anymore because that meant that there was just no chance of him ever being brought back. I guess he really thought that there was a chance that he was still gonna come back, and he got inducted.
100%. At least just one of those things, man. It's just tough. Yeah, weird organization.
Yeah. All right. Last topic, guys. Real quick here. Who is your all-star snub?
Rebecca Gardner. Well, fuck. I don't swear on you. What the fuck is that? She's the best defender in this bitch. I don't care what nobody says. Snub. No.
Okay. Fair enough.
I'm gonna get her stats real quick. I mean, obviously, I already said who it was, but it's Alicia Gray.
Look at her game. Don't pull up her.
Not Rebecca. I'm talking about my own. I'm talking about Alicia.
Go for it.
She averaging 14.5, 5.6, 2.2, and then 1.1 steals. Earlier, though, probably before the last few games, she was averaging 3 steals a game. I think that's huge. I think the way that she leveled up on both sides of the court, and at that point she was averaging 18 points. So I feel like she really stepped up a whole lot, and she got snubbed. It's gone down a little bit because of the injury, but we'll see her back soon. And man, I think she's gonna come back with a vengeance. I think we're gonna win some games.
Yeah. I think Natasha Cloud from the Mystics got snubbed.
Good one.
I think she got snubbed this year. I think she's been playing really well. If you look at the numbers definitely show she definitely deserved to be at least a reserve, if not a starter. Like she definitely deserved to make the All-Star team. So I think that's a snub. Skylar Diggins not being a starter is a snub. But I mean, I'm glad that she made the team, but still, she should be a starter. There's no reason why she's not a starter. But I'm happy for De'Erica Hamby. I feel like that's really dope that she's an all-star this year, which she's definitely played like it throughout the year. She's been really huge for the Vegas Aces, especially going from being a 6th man to being a starter. Not everybody can make that transition, and be as effective as she's been. So shout out to her. But yeah, Natasha Cloud would be my snub. For sure. For sure. A quick prediction. Who do we think is gonna win the MVP in the All-Star game?
No, I'm kidding.
In the All-Star game,
I think Candace. Just
really?
Because of what she's been doing.
In Chicago, and it's in Chicago. I can see that.
I think if she gets anything close to a double-double, I think she wins it just because she's.
I think it comes down between her and Skylar.
Yeah.
And so they're doing a captain's draft this year, so it's a different format. Last year was USA versus Team Allstars.
Yeah.
I was super impressed with, because Arike won MVP last year, but I was really impressed with Courtney Williams in the All-Star game. Like, she had the second amount of points, or second most. And so I think Courtney got a chance. Like, she would have had a chance last year to do that. Now, I'm sad that she's not there to do that this year, but I think Candace is a pretty obvious choice. But I think Skylar's going to push hard for not being a starter. I think she's going to push hard. And obviously, we know she plays with a chip on her shoulder regardless. So, I think she's going to come in. I think she's going to go hard.
And not to be too Sky heavy, but I do also think, Ka is in the conversation, even though she's
for sure.
You're a finals MVP. So, we all know what Ka can do in those moments. And she's a Philly girl. Like, she wants that trophy.
Yeah.
She wants that trophy. So if she gets an opportunity to hoop, she should definitely be on the lookout for Ka.
Oh yeah, she's a hoop. Ka's a hooper's hooper. Like, if you love somebody that's good, that's gonna work hard and that's gonna, has that grit and that tenaciousness, like Ka's your girl for sure. Love that. So all right, guys. Well, that was gonna wrap up another episode of Beyond the Rim, hosted by your girl Sensei and my wonderful co-host Mike Hughes and Megan Price. Thank you guys so much for joining us. We will be back next Wednesday at the same time to discuss more WNBA and more news. Anything WNBA related, you know where to come. You know who to come see. You know who to come to get the best news from. Nobody but us. Check out all the shows on the ASAP Network. Me and Mike are on every show on the ASAP Network, so I'm not even going to run down the list because there's too many. Megan, do you have anything going on that you want people to pay attention to, or what they can follow that you got coming up?
I'm kind of on a break right now because y'all know I do 9 shows a week. So I took a small break, but I'm still doing a couple of shows. I'm doing this show, and then I'm doing another one on Tuesday nights. It comes on at 7:30 Eastern. It's called 3 Chicks in a Pot, and we talk. It's an all female cast. We're only a 30-minute show, so we're not going to take up your whole evening. We always start with one serious topic. We've been covering Title IX for the last month, and we're going to continue that coverage because America is fucking wild, and I will leave it at that. Right, I will leave it at that. But we always start with a serious topic, and we always end with a fun topic. So it's not just a super heavy show, and we're only 30 minutes, and I really enjoy it.
100%.
Well, yes, that's dope. So y'all make sure y'all tune into that because that sounds incredible. So, but that's gonna wrap up another episode here. Make sure, like I said, you keep following the ASAP Network. We got big things coming. Make sure y'all turn into Beyond the Rim next week, the same time, and we'll see y'all later. We out this thing.
Whole sports all plays. Whole sports all plays. Whole sports all plays. 365, we making a plays. You talking the game, get you through the days. We're high in the court, the dime in the lane. Variety, topics, living the same. All presentation, sports information. In the airways, taking the nation. All sport, all plays, like working your faces. Grace at the field, so tie the laces. All sports, all plays.